Hello, and welcome to the Narrowing Path, walking the spiritual walk. My name is Stephen Eiderstein. Thank you all for joining me again today as we go through and do the daily meditation from James Allen's Daily Meditations. I'm looking forward to seeing what the 20th brings us. July, pretty much everyone in July has it's been powerful. It's been meditations of such substance to make a realignment in my own life. So I hope those who are listening uh, get some inspiration from them too. So uh, this will be fresh to you and fresh to me. What that means is I've never heard this meditation or this reading prior to jumping on and reading it right here on the podcast with y'all. So you'll get my genuine response, reactions, observations, and what I relate to about the reading. So here we go. This is July 20th of James Allen's Daily Meditations. Sterling integrity tells wherever it is and stamps its hallmark on all transactions. What a amazing line. Amazing line to start this with. To be complete and strong, integrity must embrace the whole man and extend to all the details of his life. And it must be so thorough and permanent as to withstand all temptations, to swerve into compromise, to fail in one point is to fail in all, and to admit under stress a compromise with falsehood, however, howsoever necessary and insignificant it may appear, is to throw down the shield of integrity and to stand exposed to the onslaughts of evil. Fire and brimstone paragraph right there. The man who works as carefully and conscientiously when his employer is away as when his eye is on him will not long remain in an inferior position. Such integrity in duty will quickly lead him to prosperity. The man of integrity is in line with the fixed law of things. He is like a strong tree whose roots are fed by perennial springs, which no tempest can lay low. I'm not even sure where to start talking about this one. Integrity. Um, yeah, July, you are not disappointing at all. Let me tell you, integrity, I think, is one of the biggest things I've gained. One of the biggest things I've been blessed with obtaining since getting sober. I was not one that had anything resembling integrity when before I started living this spiritual way of life. I was a different person to every single person, and when all eyes were off of me, I acted however the hell I wanted to act. I had no ability to be honest and forthright and follow through on anything with anybody. So when we get these readings about integrity, they resonate with me very deeply. They strike chords with me and give me the opportunity to be grateful for being a man of integrity today, which I didn't even know what that meant only a couple of years ago. Well, about 5, 6 years ago, I had no idea what that even meant. So this is I believe in this reading because it's been my experience. I assign importance to that quality of character of that to integrity because I know how important it's been for my own personal recovery, right? So, um Anyway, enough with the spiel. Let's get started. I mean, I already made some stops along the way on this one, so it's not going to be. You already know. You already know that this one was a great one for myself. Selfishly, I'll say this one is a great one to read. So I hope y'all will enjoy it, hearing it a second time with me. So it starts with sterling integrity tells wherever it is and stamps its hallmark on all transactions. There's a different quality, complete different quality of things when you have integrity, when you're acting from integrity. And when you're acting from a place of integrity, people know that it brings a peace and a calm to others around you because there's no fidgeting, there's no um, questioning. It's an assurance almost, though there's no assurance given. But the way someone conducts themselves when they have integrity gives a much different vibration. Some people call it a much different energy, aura, impression is what we're really talking about here, to those they interact with and those they deal with, right? We're kind of talking about it in business sense to go along with like the underlying theme that's been going on the last couple of days. But sterling integrity tells wherever it is and stamps its hallmark on all transactions, all business. Dealing with a man of integrity is important because you know what you're getting fully, positive, negative, talents, skills, and shortcomings, all wrapped up into one. But you know what that person is, who they are. And that is someone you can do business with. So, sterling integrity, something I strive for personally. All right. To be complete and strong, integrity must embrace the whole man and extend to all the details of his life. That's what integrity is. See, that's the amazing thing. Um, well, I don't. To me, it was amazing to realize this, but it's really self-evident. Or when it's put in this way, knowing what I know now, of course you have to. But that wasn't the case. I thought I could just practice integrity in this area of my life. Like, I wasn't going to lie about this stuff anymore. Very specific, right? Very, very specific about what I was going to have integrity about, which makes no sense. Because integrity, if you're going, is about the principle. Integrity is about my behavior. If I'm going to be kind, I will be kind. If I am going to be honest, I will be honest. Doesn't matter the circumstance, who I'm um, engaging with, or what else is going on. My behavior, the way I live my life, is not dependent on where I am, or at least that's the goal. And I make, I have made substantial strides towards achieving that. I'm not perfect. I am human. I have my failings, but I do really strive to have integrity in all areas of my life all the time and practice the principles that I speak about with such conviction in every area of my life because I need to. Because that is the way I want to live. I want to live doing the right thing for the sake of doing the right thing because that is what I believe is the right way to live. Not for any reward, but it is right and moral and virtuous to do that. And those are things that I would love to claim as mine. Takes practice though. So, complete to be complete and strong. to be complete and strong. How many people say they feel broken and weak? Two of the biggest complaints, two of the biggest sensations we can feel. I know I felt both of those. So to open the main body of this reading with to be complete and strong, I don't believe is a mistake. I believe people have been feeling broken and weak for a very long time. And that's why this type of literature always resurfaces. All right, we better get a move on. I'll keep talking about this reading for an hour, for an entire hour. Um, Complete and strong. Integrity must embrace the whole man. So every area of your life, every aspect of you, and extend to all the details of his life. All of you, everywhere, all the time. Not a big ask, is it? And it must be so thorough and permanent as to withstand all temptations to swerve into compromise. Right? I do not get to say, well, if I just a little if I omit some information here, I'm going to get what I actually want to get. That's a compromise on your moral character and moral integrity. I'm sorry. Like, you call it what it is. I was reading another book recently, and it says, it talked about how to overcome our defects. We must name them and claim them, so we can then get rid of it. That is a compromise of your moral integrity when you do things like that. And it must be so thorough and permanent as to withstand all temptations. All temptations. Your integrity must shine in such a way that any temptation that comes in your path is not even a consideration. You live and do the right things. To fail in one point is to fail in all, and to admit under stress a compromise with falsehood, however necessary and insignificant it may appear, is to throw down the shield of integrity and to stand exposed to the onslaughts of evil. Because when we compromise our integrity, no matter how good we are at deceiving ourselves, we know, I believe I know, when I'm taking a step in the gray area, when I'm convincing myself of something that I shouldn't be convincing myself of. When I'm justifying something I know I shouldn't be justifying. If I'm justifying at all, I'm usually in the doghouse already. I'm usually not doing the right thing. So, but regardless of how necessary it might seem, how insignificant and small it might seem, remember, we've talked about this before. It's been a while since I've said it, but everything matters. Never forget, everything matters. I mean, that's the definition for integrity, isn't it? Everything matters. Every word you say, thought you think, intention you have, action you take, regardless of who's looking, regardless of the lack of immediate consequences, because there will always be consequences for doing the wrong thing for the wrong reason. Always. So, regardless of those two things, whenever that happens, because you think it's a necessary compromise, because you think it's not going to matter, you throw down the shield of integrity. You open yourself up to it, to fear. You open yourself up to guilt. You open yourself up to shame. And then you open yourself up to selfishness and self-centeredness again, to cover those up and run from those and just not want to feel them. Integrity is not only something we respect, something we want to be, but it's He calls it the shield of integrity, is to throw down the shield of integrity, to stand exposed to the onslaughts of evil. Your character is what brings you that peace and that steadfastness, that connection with that God of your understanding, that power greater than yourself, that source, whatever you want to call it. It's integrity, integrity of character that builds that pipeline so we can actually walk through this life with those blessings of joy and happiness and peace and serenity, steadfastness and strength. Our selfishness will get in the way every time if we let it. That's why it has to be so ironclad as to resist all temptations. All right. So the last paragraph here. The man who works as carefully and conscientiously when his employer is away as when his eye is on him will not long remain in an inferior position. Such integrity and duty will quickly lead him to prosperity. We've talked about duty before, how that duty complete. How did they say it? We've talked about duty before, but how we should be in addressing all things, all duties in our lives, regardless of what they think about, with integrity, energy, and completeness, like perfection. Like we're supposed to be accomplishing all of our duties to a standard, right? To that a perfect standard. We should do it quickly, efficient. We should do it efficiently and correctly. And that's what it's talking about here. When you can have integrity, and you apply these things to your duties, especially at work, regardless of if your boss is watching or not, your desire to do a good job, to do the job you are doing well, because it is your duty, does not come from an external source. It comes from an internal motivation to do the right things. We don't half-ass. It's not the good enoughs. We give it everything we got to the best of our ability all the time. Such integrity and duty will quickly lead him to prosperity. Well, you sure won't be fired if you live well, if you work like that. All right, now this closes with a couple of sentences. I'm going to read them all at one time, though. The man of integrity is in line with the fixed law of things. He is like a strong tree whose roots are fed by perennial springs and which no tempest can lay low. We talk about steadfastness a lot on here. We talk about strength. We talk about solid foundations. Integrity, that's the tool that builds it all. Having integrity of character, moral integrity. These are the things like a strong tree whose roots are fed by perennial springs and which no tempest can lay low. These are integrity is the thing that shapes and forms our solidarity in this spiritual walk. When we practice the spiritual principles thoroughly everywhere, you will get these roots it's talking about. You'll get that foundation. You will get that steadfastness and strength that we talk about. Because you have regular practice at doing the right thing, because it is the right thing to do, and solely that being the reason. Not many can say that. So, all right. Well, that's where we're going to stop today. It's a little bit of a longer one today, but it was a powerful, powerful reading. Integrity is always a magnificent thing to talk about, and to remind ourselves that this is a lifestyle. This is a practice of living that needs to be done at all times, in all things, in all places, and areas of life. So, thank y'all for joining me though again today. I really do appreciate it. It is um I'm excited to just see the last 11 days of July. I mean, it's been just a roller coaster and exhilarating just to get through this month. So thank y'all for joining me for it. And we'll be back again tomorrow. So until next time, thanks.